Well, I lost friends about 30 years ago at a time when I was coming out as a lesbian and living in the San Francisco community, and was befriending a lot of gay men as friends, and slowly started to see them becoming sick. And so in terms of what it was like for me at the time, I wasn't very terribly spiritual at the time. I think I was just so focused on the fact that, I was coming out, living with other gay people here in the San Francisco community, and also at the same time having friends who were getting sick. And, AIDS was still very much in the throes of our community, and I wasn't terribly spiritual or focused on it then. I was 25 and, very much young, and it wasn't an element of something that I had in my life previously, so that wasn't something that I focused on. There's certainly an element of survivor's guilt. That was something after watching my friends die, and they were mostly male. There's definitely a sense of guilt. Why am I here? Why is it that, I didn't see as many women getting sick? We certainly were the caretakers, and we certainly were the friends and people there at bedsides whose own family sometimes wouldn't be there. They were rejecting their own family members, and so it was folks like myself and my other lesbian friends who kind of stepped in to be sort of a surrogate family member. So you definitely have a sense of, at the time, definitely a sense of survivor's guilt. And today, 20 plus years on, seeing that there's a new generation of people who continue to get infected with HIV. I think to a great extent we're a little bit, it's not as much in our faces as it was back then, in large part due to the advances of drugs. So people could be taking an antiviral and walking around and, looking, quote, healthy. So I think it's a very different, certainly a different time today, and it's not good or bad, it's just a different time. Now, spirituality, as I've gotten older, I hope to think that I'm a little bit wiser and much more open to having sort of a spiritual sense of, there was a purpose, and, was there a purpose for me having friends who had HIV and AIDS? What was my role? I'm much more thoughtful today, going on being almost 50 years old, than I was 25 years ago. So I've lost others, in the course of the last 25 years through other disease. But the one that touches me the most, because I saw it at such a young age, at a time where I was, as I said, coming out and really owning the fact that I was a lesbian. I had always been a lesbian, but just really embracing the fact that I was, is difficult. What I'm immensely proud of is that my friends who have survived are, give back to the community. And one of my dearest friends, Dan Ripley, does the AIDS life cycle every year. He's done it for the last 10 years and has raised thousands and thousands of dollars. So I think the role that we have today is to continue to be involved in the community, continue to give back, be it financially, be it spiritually. There are other ways to give back and to really help foster the next generation of leaders who are fighting this pandemic. So that's been my experience, and days like today, World AIDS Day, is just a poignant reminder that this pandemic is still very much here. It's not just a U.S. issue, but it's truly a global issue. It's sickening that people continue to get infected and continue to die, continue not to have access to medications that are sorely needed. And it's criminal, and I think that as long as this pandemic is in existence, all of us have a role, and all of us have a place to be involved and to be actively involved. There is no reason why this disease should not be eradicated. So I look forward to seeing the next generation of leaders in this fight, and hope that we're able, year after year, to decrease the number of people who get this disease and who die.